What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Got a special client interview today with my guy, Matthew. We've been working together for quite a long time, and he's got some good results to share. But don't want to see your thunder, man. Why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself, and we'll go from there.
Definitely. Yeah. Appreciate you. My name is Matthew De La Rosa. I'm the owner and founder of NJ Healthy Heat. Prior to this, I was a professional baseball player with the Baltimore Orioles organization for 4 years. And then once I was released, I quickly got picked up by the Monterrey Sultanes down in Mexico. However, that season was canceled due to COVID. Once that season was canceled, I decided that it was my time to hang it up. I was 26 years old. While I still threw hard, I was definitely behind the eight ball. There was guys, younger than me, much more talented, who were moving up the ladder much quickly, and I kind of saw the writing on the wall and decided that it was my time to move forward. After that, I moved out to Colorado. I always wanted to snowboard and got there, got a job. Quickly realized that that job wasn't that fulfilling, although it paid well. Not something that I could see myself doing forever. Then I moved back out here to New Jersey after I met my now fiance, love you, Julia. And then she ended up working out here, and I moved out here, got another job, living in the city for a little bit, moving in and out of the city, working remotely, getting into sales, learning how the sales operation worked, and that was great. Got a well-paying job with benefits and everything that you needed to be successful, and I was kind of on a track towards management and moving up the ladder of the corporate world, but still didn't feel that fulfilled and would, constantly be talking about how, this life wasn't what I wanted to live. And, there was just no happiness after, I got done and closed the laptop for the day after 5 o'clock. And so I started looking around, for a local team. I should say that after I got done with baseball, I took off like 3 years, 4 years, just had to get away from it. And then came back, had the itch, found a local organization, started coaching. From there, moved into a director role. And at that point, I was like, yo, like I should start doing lessons. Started getting hit up with people who I'd coached who wanted to get into lessons. And I had gone down the lessons route before. I had even tried briefly like remote training, and it didn't go the way because I just kind of like tried to take a shot in the dark on how to do this. And then um, once I started getting some lessons, I was like, all right, this is going to quickly fill up. I'm not going to make nearly enough money. It was a kind of a side hustle. And from there, I was like, all right, who's this Nick Neville guy that keeps popping up on my Instagram algorithm? I was like, dude, this guy keeps claiming that he's got like 32 grand in a month training kids, 250 kids. I was like, bro, I'm struggling to train two kids. Like, how in the world could this dude possibly claim that he trained 250 kids in a month? Like, I literally just couldn't fathom it. And so, like many of you guys, I went to the YouTube and started just doing my due diligence. Got on a call with him. Um, Basically asked him like, "Yo, are you full of shit, or like, is this real? Like, explain to me how this happens." And he was kind enough to walk me through the details, and I was like, "Sure, whatever." Got off, and I think like 15 minutes after that call, I was like, "Yo, here's my credit card number. Let's get it. Let's roll." So that's a little bit of an intro, long-winded about how I got here.
Oh no, that's perfect, dude. And I appreciate your transparency too, because I think a lot of people are kind of in the same boat where they watch it and they're like, dude, this guy's making some bold claims. Like, what is he talking about? So yeah, I guess kind of touching back on like, the beginning, like when you first joined, like where were you kind of at in terms of like your training business? Like what were your goals, things like
Yeah,
that?
so I had just started bringing on my first two in-person clients. It was a side hustle. I still had my main 9 to 5 job. It was just a little extra side money on the like a side gig for some side money on the side money on the side. And I just, wanted to give back to the community, wanted to give back to the kids, wanted to share the knowledge. I almost felt selfish for holding the knowledge that I had gained throughout my entire playing career to myself. And so when I met you, I had really nothing. I had just started a business. I just went and got like an LLC. I don't know. I didn't even get an LLC. I got an S corp. I have no idea what like inside of me was like, go start a business. Researched some stuff, found an accountant. He helped me set up some things, and really for like the first 3 months, I was just like fooling myself, thinking that like, oh, I was a business owner, like this is cool, like whatever. I could tell people I did something, but like no growth, nothing. It was just those two kids. But through the process of training those two kids, I kind of documented some stuff, and they got better. And once I was, throwing that on the internet, like people, gradually started to come in a little bit more, and that's kind of when I met you. I had no social media presence. The only people that followed me were like my close friends and like family. And I was like, dude, I don't care that these people are following me. They're not going to buy my products. And I was like, how do I get eyeballs on me? And going through the program, getting introduced to you, getting introduced to Matt, like it helped me and opened up my eyes to like how to market to my ideal avatars, how to build out that process, how to trickle them down and run them through a sales process and a sales funnel in order to get out on the other side, all while, not really spending too much time, because once you get those systems set up in place, it's, very, very easy to just sit back and have the inbound leads kind of come to you if you're doing it right. So that's where I was, and that's kind of the journey that I took to get here.
Yeah. I like how you say if you're doing it right too, because if you're not doing it right, it's tough.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of moving parts in the sales funnel, and it's great to have a community of guys like you've built to be able to talk through when something, quite honestly breaks or falls by the side, and you're just like, yo, how do you fix this? As opposed to like sitting around Googling it for hours. It's as quick and easy as a question in the community, and 9 different guys are hopping on it to give you an answer, and then followed by your expertise coming in and saying like, yo, this is how you do it. And then what would have taken, a week or a month took less than 12 hours to fix.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Where I guess coming into the program, like what expectations did you have in terms of like what you were going to learn and different things like that?
So as far as what I was going to learn, I honestly didn't know. Like that's crazy to say, but like I just quite honestly didn't know. Like all I knew was that like this guy was saying he had $32,000 a month and he had trained 250 athletes, and I was like, I guess that's the answer. It's like, how are you training 250 guys at once? That was what I wanted to learn, and that is ultimately what I got out of it.
Yeah, 100%. Uh, a little bit more tactically, right? So you get in the program, you're still working your job. Like, what was kind of the order of operations for you to kind of get to where you're at right now?
Yeah, so when I was still working my job, you were starting to host like the community calls during the day. I started hopping on those during my lunch break from 12 to 1, and slowly started learning and compiling information all while still working my job. I didn't really take immediate action. I was just trying to learn. I would go back and watch all of the group calls from before I'd even gotten into the program. I would just sit on the group calls and listen to guys like Matt, guys like Ian, guys like Brock, who were starting to have some success, and just listen and listen and listen. And then I would go out and take the resources that had been given to me, and I would try it in my spare time, try to create, videos, tell the kids that I was gonna, make a video of them and post it online and see what happens. And, quite honestly, within the first month or two, I can't remember, but I had a post do super well. And from there, like I was hooked. I was like, dude, this is crazy. Like, I think I had a post do the first post that blew up for me, honestly hit over 1 million. It hit over 1 million views, and it's still at like 1.6. It's still climbing every day. And I was like, dude, this is nuts. And the amount of traction that I got from it, again, it just hooked me. And I was like, dude, I can do this. And maybe if it wasn't for that, you know, video, and if it wasn't for you guys teaching me how to make something like that, like maybe I'm not in the position that I'm in today. But because I had that success from being in the community and being in those conversations, it helped me stick around and gave me that belief that, yo, you can do this, bro.
Yeah, 100%. Let's dive into that a little bit more. Like, what, I guess, like limiting beliefs did you have about remote training that you no longer hold now, like coming into the program?
So I might be a little bit different in the remote training, because I had kind of done remote training in the past. I had been fortunate enough to go to like the Texas Baseball Ranch and train at some of these elite, so to speak, baseball places. While I had never done like fully remote, I had definitely been like on my own. I never had an app that told me what to do, or never watched videos like that. But it was like, here's your program, take it over here and do what you need to do with that. What I'll say on the remote side is like, I didn't have a belief that like I could train somebody and get them better. Like, I just didn't know how that even worked. Like, I thought that the ideas and the mechanics of pitching and throwing were like too complex to explain over a video. Like, I felt like I needed to be there hands on, but also like a lot of other pitching coaches and a lot of other coaches in the baseball space, I just felt like my players weren't progressing in a timely manner. So I was like, okay, so I need to figure out something. And so what is that? Okay, well, this guy over here is saying that there's this remote aspect that can pair well with the in-person training. And now I have something to give them on a daily routine. Whereas before, I was kind of doing that, but it was more of like paper. Like, here you go, here's what you should be doing, look at this. And then the remote training, once you introduced it, was like, here's the videos, here's the explanation of it, here's the drills, here's how you can send me videos of you and I can break them down and all of that. And before you knew it, like, the kids were exponentially getting better, and it was cool to see. So I would say that my own limiting beliefs were that like I had no idea how I could possibly train somebody over the internet. And those quickly fell by the wayside once I ran kids through the program for the first time and received the um, feedback that I got from not only the players but the parents. And I think that's something huge that a lot of people don't understand, is like the parents, who are generally the paying customers, feel like their money is being well spent because I'm spending time with them even more so than I would if I was just meeting with them once a week in person. From the communication to the back and forth to the mechanical analysis to the group calls to the one-on-one calls, like, there's so much more that you can do on a remote training basis than you can do on a in-person lesson. And if you're only doing in-person lessons at this point, like, you're going to fall quickly behind, because there's guys like me out there who are quickly developing in this space and are very, very hungry to take your clients. So
Yeah.
figure out how remote training works quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you say to somebody right now who's maybe training athletes in person, and they're sitting there thinking like, oh, like remote training is not going to work, like my athletes aren't going to get better, or I can't do social media because I'm not a social media person. Like, what would you say to those people right now?
If you're not giving your athlete something to do on a daily basis, I promise you they're looking for resources elsewhere. And once they find resources that they can get on a more daily basis, you will be eliminated from that position. It's just plain and simple. As far as the social media goes, look, I did not want to put myself on camera. I had the biggest fear of thinking what others would think. There's a lot of things that need to go on in my own mindset to get to that point, but it's not as scary as you think. Like, honestly, it's been one of the funnest things I do now. I love filming myself. I love doing the editing. Like, I didn't realize how much creative knowledge I had inside of me. Once you learn the blueprint from a guy like Matt, who breaks it down so simplistically that it's really easy to do, just a couple extra seconds in what you're doing. And for a guy like me, and probably for a lot of people out there listening, like, you're already living the lifestyle that you want to portray to these people anyways. So all you have to do is set up a camera, when you're doing those things, and do a couple little editing tricks that, is easily teachable through the program. And you're on your way. You don't have to make these, videos that you see on Instagram and YouTube that, are so complex. Like, it can be so simple. There's guys in the community who are making, tens of thousands of dollars with very limited views, very limited followers. But if you know how to market your message, and you know how to just simply take the videos and put them online in the proper order with a few little tips and tricks from a guy like Matt, you're off to the races, man. And you'd be stupid to not, take the information that's out there, because I promise you there's guys out there who are taking it and they're going to pass you
Yeah.
if they haven't already.
Yeah, 100%. You keep talking about Matt. I haven't really publicly introduced him, but if you want to talk about like what it's like working with him and his expertise, stuff like that.
Yeah, man, Matt from I think the first month somebody called him what did they call him? Oh, they called him something in baseball. What do they call him? I can't think of it right now.
Mr.
Oh,
Beast.
they called him the Mr. Beast of baseball, dude. Mr. Beast of baseball because of how well his videos were, dude. Like we're a bunch of scrubs coming in here and like you watch a video from Matt and you're just like, dude, I can do that. You're gonna teach me how to do that. And from that point on, dude, like full attention. Anytime that guy speaks, I'm just like, okay, this guy knows way more about this stuff than I do. And like he's taking time out of his life to teach me this stuff. And it's very, very valuable. Some of the stuff is so simplistic too. Like he does much more complex stuff with his own stuff, but the value that he teaches with just the basics is so much to be dangerous out there in the world. So highly, highly, highly recommend, getting into the community to talk to a guy like Matt. Not saying that your stuff wasn't great, but like Matt's got it going, dude. He's got the knowledge in that space.
Yeah, 100%. No, dude, I want people to like working with Matt more than me, dude. He's the man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk a little bit like tactically, like what were the specific things that you feel like made the biggest difference for you, like on this journey of like remote training?
One, I think it was just seeing that it was possible. Seeing guys in the community constantly talking about it, seeing guys like an Anderson Miller who had a, great career as a AAA guy coming in and believing in it, seeing guys who had played a little bit higher than I have come in and be like, yo, this isn't gimmicks. Like, yo, I'm getting guys better. I think literally that was it. Just seeing other guys who were capable of getting other players better and then were making money off of it as well. That was probably the biggest shift. And then the tools. I think, something that is so undervalued maybe in your program. I don't know if people are taking full advantage of it, but like the first week that you get into the program, like you break down how to set up all these different tools and these systems. And I think I took that and ran with it, man. I learned from you how to set up Calendly, how to, have people throw meetings on my calendar so I don't have to constantly go back and forth. How to set up, Trainerize, go through that. I probably watched that Trainerize 97 times. Like, couldn't believe how many times I was deep diving into it just to get more knowledgeable on it. Canva, CapCut, learning these tools, like that's all it became was just, dude, you don't have to be any smarter. You just have to know how to work these tools. And once you know how to work these tools, like it's just about setting them up in the proper steps. And once they're in the proper steps, like you'd be surprised what comes out on the other side. And from that, I'm very, very thankful.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. That's well, I appreciate you saying that because most people are like, they want to learn content or they want to learn sales or I don't know. Most people are like, how do I build a program? How do I build an Instagram page? That's why most people come to us. But I guess like in terms of like actually being like a member in the community, like what would you say that it's like to, go through the course, jump on the group calls, the Slack, like all that stuff?
Yeah. Being in the community is probably the biggest benefit that a lot of people get out of the group. Just for the fact that there's so many different minds who are trying to do the same exact things, whether they're, baseball coaches or football coaches or basketball coaches or softball coaches, whatever it is, like everybody's trying to figure out how to help their athletes become better in a more efficient manner while also making more money. Like plain and simple. And like, why wouldn't you want to be in a group where you've got all of these minds talking about that every single day? One of the interviews that I, saw with Mr. Beast was, he sat in a group with like three of his friends and like they just talked about content all day, studied content and videos all day. And his logic behind it was like, yo, if I'm over here growing and making my one mistake, like it's going to take me forever to learn. But if Jimmy's over there doing his thing, and Tommy's over there doing his thing, and Billy's over there doing his thing, and they're making mistakes and coming back to the group and teaching the mistakes not to make. Well, then I just grew 4 times as fast because I'm learning from their mistakes, what roads not to go down, what roads to travel down, what to double down on. And the good thing about the community is it's not 4 guys, it's like 100. So you're learning like 100 times faster. You're
Yeah.
learning what doesn't work and what works 100 times faster. And then the community aspect of it as well. Like you can talk to people on the side. Like you don't only have to be engaged with you or with Matt. Like there's other guys out there who are making, 20, 30, $40,000 already, who you can pick their brains. They're all generous with their time, to give you the knowledge that you need in order to keep taking those steps forward. But the community has been great, and it's probably again one of the biggest assets that your program offers.
I appreciate that. I always try and say that it's the thing that I'm probably the most proud of. Like obviously the modules are great and all that stuff, blah blah blah. But like, there's just like a really good group of human beings in there. I think
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah. And then you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So, you want to be surrounded by people who are, just like you. And again, there's not 5 people, there's 100. So that's crazy.
Yeah. Definitely. Um, Something that I really want to portray to people is that like this is not a get rich quick scheme. And it does take work and it does take time. Maybe if you want to talk about like kind of like maybe some of the struggles that you went through and how long it's really taken you to kind of get to where you're at.
Definitely. I'll say it's probably I'm 30 years old. It's taken me 30 years, right? It's taken first off all of the knowledge that I've gained over my entire life, that I've accumulated that I can give back to the community. As far as like how long it's taking to build the business, it's still a work in progress. It's not something that I thought was going to make me $1 million in 6 months. Like when I jumped off of my 6-figure job to come do this full time, I knew that I was jumping into something that was going to take a very long time. But I also knew that I was committing to a business that I wanted to be around with for the next 10, 15, 20 years. And that's the mindset that I went into this with was, hey, I'm going to be in this for a very long time. So what do I need to learn in order to make this successful? Okay, first and foremost, I need to learn how to set this business up. Check. Next, I need to figure out how to speak to my audience online. Don't know how to do that. Where do I go do that? This guy who's telling me he's trained 250 people online. All right, go to him, figure out what's got going on. Check. All right, next, I need to figure out how to make content. Oh, this guy's got somebody in there who makes content already and is going to teach me. Cool, check. Next, I need to figure out the sales funnel and the sales process to do all of this. That guy's teaching me too. Check. Right. And so there's this long laundry line or laundry list of things, that has to get done. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on forever. But luckily, you've set up and like clearly laid out and depicted what those first probably like 1,000 things in your journey in those 1,000 turns that you need to take are going to be. And you're continuously building too. Like you're helping guys like me who are $0 in the bank account with their business get to $10,000 in the bank in a month. And then you're building on top of that. You've got programs out there that are helping guys go from 10 to 20. And I'm sure you're building programs from 20 to 50. And next thing you know, you're going to have programs out there helping people make millions of dollars, if not already. I don't know. But it's crazy that like the amount of info that's just like jam packed into this. And I'll say this program will only work if you're willing to put in the work because it's a shit ton of time. It's a lot of time and you have to be invested and you have to know that like, dude, they're giving you the tools that you need, but they're not going to do it for you. The same way that you are going to give your athletes the drills and the progressions and the weights to do, but like you're not going to sit there and lift it for them. They have to be internally dedicated. And if that's not you, then like, sorry, man, you're just going to waste your money. But if you're willing to put your head down and pave the grindstone, pound the grindstone, and get to work, like this program can work for anybody.
Yeah. I appreciate the like radical transparency there too, because like That's the last thing that I want. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want people coming into the community like 8 weeks in, like, yo, I haven't made 10K in a month. Like, what the hell's going on? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll keep going. I think after my first 6 months, I didn't make 10K. I was gradually moving towards it. I started, $2,000 a month. Okay. Not enough to quit the job. $3,000 a month. Okay. Not enough to quit the job. $4,000 a month. Eh, I think I can keep going if I had a little bit more time. And then around that point, it's like when I was like, yo, I think I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to quit my six-figure job because I just made $4,000 in a month off of coaching. I'm crazy. But I was like, if I could take the 40 hours a week that I'm spending on this other thing and pour it into myself, like I believe that I can get to this point based off of what I'm learning in this community, based off of the trajectory, the growth that I'm seeing in myself, not only in myself, but in the bank account. So I'm like, if I can just continuously make this, I will have enough to pay my bills. And from that point, I don't necessarily need extra money while I would like it. I want the freedom to be operating on my own, and then I will get the extra money as I continuously grow and develop and build these programs out. But it takes time. And so I'll tell you from two perspectives, like it can make you money while you are in a job, a 9 to 5 job. But if you're willing to go all in, like it can make you a bunch of money too, and it can replace your entire salary.
Yeah. No, and that's just proof. You know what I mean? Like, you obviously had a job that was paying you well, and you had every reason to keep that job. You know what I mean? Like,
The
you had every,
benefits, yeah, the benefits, the easy lifestyle, the no stress of, what happens. I've got a paycheck coming every 2 weeks, hits it. After 5 o'clock, don't talk to me. I don't have any problems after 5 o'clock. All right. But once you take this on full time, understand that like I work more now than when I was in my 9 to 5 job, but I love it. I love the grind. If anybody out there seeing freaking money making Mitch, I love the hustle. I love the grind, man. So that's what you got to have. You got to have that dedication to it. And if you got it, hey, these guys will take your career to the next level.
yeah. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, because that's what like we really want. You know what I mean? Is we want people who are like, yo, I'm serious about this. Like, I just need the blueprint. You know, because like if you're not serious about it and you're watching this, you're not that serious about it. Like, don't book a call with us. Like, we don't want to take your money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The same way that like if you're a coach watching this, the same way you wouldn't want an athlete coming in and like not doing the work and showing up and being like, yo, I'm not getting any better. And you're questioning yourself, like, dude, am I a good coach? And it's like, no, Jimmy just doesn't do the work. And then he shows up and their parents are complaining about why they're not getting any better. Like, you want people who are going to come in and like, even if they're not getting better, being like, yo, I got this idea for like how we can get better. And they're like approaching you in that kind of uh, dialogue. And those are the guys you want to work with because those are the guys who are invested in making, real changes in their career and real changes in their lifestyle. And that's what this is making real changes to how you go about your business.
Yeah. What would you say to somebody who's like maybe on their fourth testimonial video that they're watching? They just watch some of my YouTube videos and they're like, oh, I don't know about this. Like, who is this guy? Blah blah blah. Like, what would you say to somebody like that right
Yo, it took me 2 testimonials. Why is it taking you three? Like, why
now?
why are you on your fourth one right now, bro? Like, what are you not hearing that you need to hear? Like, if it's the money, like it's investing, I'll say it like this. If it's the money, I promise you'll make it back tenfold. Like that's from my experience, that's from a lot of guys' experience. I know that it's probably more than you've invested in your life, but again, it's an investment. It's not an expense. It's going to come back to you. You are going to learn information that is going to double, triple, quadruple whatever you're putting in. And then once you can get to that point, like you're going to be like, yo, this was money well spent. And that's what, I'm coming out on the other side thinking it's like money well spent.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think I think that's the mentality you got to have with anything in life, right? Is like you're like it's an investment, you know what I mean? And it's the skill set really, because once you learn the skills, like dude, you know how to make content now. You know how to train athletes online. Like, dude, if you have a Wi-Fi connection, your laptop and your phone, you can make money. And that's powerful. So
100%. 100%. So click
is
that
there
button.
a go ahead?
Get in the community.
Yeah.
Get in the community right now. Do it.
That's gonna be the hook of one of my ads.
Getting estúpido. My grandpa would say estúpido, dude. Like, get in there.
I appreciate you, man. Is there anything you want to say that maybe we haven't covered yet that you want to talk about?
No, I don't think so, man. I think we've done a pretty good job of dialing all in. The closing message is just guys or girls. I know that you're helping, volleyball coaches and softball coaches, coaches across all training platforms. Like this stuff works. He's got the knowledge, he's got the blueprint. The way that you're asking your athletes to follow you and trust you because you've gone ahead and you've seen what the path looks like that's what this community is, man. Like if you believe that coaching is important because you yourself are a coach and you're asking people to pay you to coach them, then you yourself as a coach need to understand that like you also need a coach and you also need to pay somebody to teach you, how to keep growing and how to keep, expanding your knowledge in the space of coaching because we're in a world where a lot of things are moving to the internet. If not everything has moved to the internet. And if you're not using it, I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, this community is building freaking warriors that are going to take your clientele. So get in there.
I appreciate you, dude. If somebody's watching this, where can they find you at?
Yeah,
Socials.
if you want, yeah. So I'm on Instagram at NJ Healthy Heat, uh, Twitter NJ Healthy Heat, YouTube NJ Healthy Heat, LinkedIn Matthew Della Rosa, TikTok NJ Healthy Heat. Got it all. These guys helped me set up so much, man. So that's why I'm on those platforms.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you so much doing this, dude. I know we've obviously grown like a good relationship too. So I just want to say like publicly thank you for like being a good client, working hard and trusting us because like I know that it's not easy to trust somebody over the internet. Like I've never met you in person, but I feel like we're like boys now, you know? So I think it's cool.
Definitely.
But
Definitely.
I just want to say thank you for that, bro. Seriously.
Of course. Appreciate you. Yeah, no, thank you for everything too, dude. Like I got a feeling the knowledge that I've learned here and the skills that I've learned is going to help me make $1 million business, like set in stone. I don't know when, and I'm not putting a timeline on it, but I'm going to make $1 million based off of this business that I've built through this community.
You bet your ass that's going on one of my videos.
Dude,
Hey, if you're Matt, we'll wrap it up here. I appreciate your time, man. Seriously, so much. If you're a coach and you're watching this and you want to learn how you can grow an internet business, provide your athletes way more value, make way more money, et cetera, all the stuff that we promote, booking a call with me or my team down below. We'll get you into the program, get you going ASAP, and start your journey. So, Matthew, appreciate you jumping on. Yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.